Yeah, sorry about
Yeah.
those photos, Scott. I didn't know, she was gonna be. But I guess if you're gonna be happy, be happy. You know.
That's why I said I'm like that's your Father's Day gift.
I was gonna say, right. Best Father's
Not
Day
for
ever.
another 4 weeks.
It's good stuff.
It's a belated Father's Day gift.
Now, are you dare going to tell anybody about this? Like what?
Oh, sure, yeah. So
Dare you
Debbie,
tell
Debbie lost like 60 or 70 pounds, and she decided that the loose skin wasn't cutting it for her, and she wanted to go in and get it all done. And this guy, I mean, basically just like made an incision at the shoulders and just pulled everything up, sewed it there, and cut off the extra skin. And it was
very scientific.
Yeah.
What did you guys do with the extra skin? Do you still have any of that left? Like,
I don't know.
I need to make a saddlebag for my horse.
I was going to say, I'm going to make a rifle holder out of it for your horse. No, I think what they do is that, they donate it to like burn victims and stuff. But I'm like,
Really?
man, it's already burnt. It's like, sun damage. It's like, that'd be kind of rough for the burn victims. But
hey, something's better than nothing.
Right. Go for it.
It's like it's compatible. She's AB like Christ was, like the blood type. Isn't she like the universal donor?
Right. Right. But no, she she got it done. It took off like 7.5 pounds of just loose skin. That was it. No implants, no nothing, just loose skin. It was crazy. It was 7 hours, bro. 7 hours.
The skin that's donated to the donor gives it up and it starts taking over the person that receives it, the recipient.
Right.
So I have to give them the skin and a credit card. So it's
this person never talked so loud before they got this skin.
She's so happy. The one thing about it is my wife is so happy now. It's like that's what the guys say. Anyway, I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah, she's good.
Fine.
She's everything's good, and she's happy enough to send out pictures, I guess.
Right.
So on Father's Day, I just the girls worked, and I just kind of helped Debbie walk around, scooch around, and that was about it. How about you guys?
Scott, didn't you? What'd you?
Yeah, well, the weather here was terrible. Not that I'm much of an outdoor grill master anyway, but we were out late from the Morgan Wallen concert the night before at Soldier Field, so we just kind of went out. We ran out to see my father-in-law, but then, and I know this is not going to go over well, but I did have an interest in going to see the Michael Jackson movie.
I heard that was pretty good.
Sean is going to public shame me.
But, you was telling me about it before
this
the
is
show.
the lowest thing on Sean's list of any possible Father's Day.
He was telling me about it. He said it was like you did, Chris. Like I trust you guys obviously with my life.
Right.
Same says I trust your judgment on a lot of things. And he's saying this, and I was like, so the descent begins. But I said to him, I could never see myself in that position of liking it or actually being there to see it. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't.
I thought back to your one drum solo from Billie Jean back in the day with when you tore it up
with the Homewreckers.
The Homewreckers.
That's right. Yeah,
funk band from what was like Bensonville? Where were they from?
somewhere outside the city.
But
see, we only had that video on Nextel, so it's lost.
Right. I was jacked up on Guinness and a couple shots of Jameson's not driving, of course, but
right. But drumming like a fiend.
Those 16th notes just fly at you under those conditions. Like I literally and it was really wild is that they had these like dancing girls like Jabba the Hutt had in front of the stage, like these skanky looking girls dancing all over the place. And I was just like, how did I get here? Again, another one of those moments, like police work got me into that position where I'm playing with a funk band. The whitest Scottish looking guy in there, Irish, and this funk band was a funk band. I mean, like these guys were like
you had to lower the lights so they didn't burn. Like they're putting SP50 on,
and it just
you're like, bro,
going.
it's just stage lights.
These people are going crazy for just 16th notes. That's like you don't even have to be a good musician. You just have to like do crazy things. And I ended up breaking my stick and throwing one of them out in the audience. And that was when I pronounced my affection for Barack Obama. When I was done. I got up to the microphone. Like, yeah, and I went, Obama, wait! And then I left. I left the stage. I got it. Like rounding applause.
Oh,
People
Well,
my
maybe
God.
I mean, if you would have heard maybe that would get you through some of this movie. Probably not, but it was still.
No.
I still found it very interesting. So I'll probably get a lot
Was
of.
it a biopic? What was it?
roasting
What
for
was? What, as
Yeah,
they
I
say,
mean,
what
it
was
says growing up, but see, well, I don't want to give it away. I won't. I won't give it.
You know how it ends.
Or, yeah.
You kinda
No.
know how it
I
ends.
know how it ends. Right.
Who
right.
played
but
Macaulay Culkin?
well, see, they haven't. The only I think Bubbles was AI though. I feel like
Was he
the
really?
chimp wasn't
Was he
real.
smoking a cigarette?
No roller skates, no cigarettes,
No cigarettes.
no. Yeah, but it only goes to, it is not his full life. I'll just leave it at that. So I think they set it up where there's
For
going
a
to be
sequel?
a sequel because it ended very abruptly, and we were kind of like, I thought this was like, what do you mean it's ending
Right.
here? So
So did it start in Gary though? Did the
ended up with Bubbles giving out glitter gloves to everybody walking down the aisle.
it was not long after he got his hair burned from the Pepsi commercial where it burned his head and whatever. It goes
the
a
cherry
little
coke caught on fire? Yeah,
yeah,
that was
little
awful.
beyond.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
It
that's
goes a
when he got
little
hooked on
beyond that.
Demerol.
Yeah.
You know what? What did he get?
That's what he got hooked on
Demerol.
Demerol after that.
Really?
That's what eventually killed him. The overdose of Demerol from his doctor.
Kind of know way too much shit about Michael Jackson right now. I'm not comfortable here. Hopefully
This
my
is-
Wi-Fi starts
this-
acting up if we have
This
to keep
is
talking
to
about
Sean as U.S. history is to me.
Right.
Like
But
I'm
like I said, did they start out in at least Gary, or there's some history?
Oh yeah,
there?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's all that,
It's-
right.
It's the whole backstory and kind of the crazy shit that went on when they were just starting out, all the way up till I think it's like late '80s or something. So that's about where it ends off. So that if they do a sequel to this, then it's going to get really disturbing when he his nose falls off and whatever other crazy shit
Right.
happens. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be sure to miss that one too.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I'll save my seat for somebody else in that one because it was
That apparently is
I'll
going to be a
pay
discussion. If you ever miss a show, we'll talk about that.
That he wasn't here because he was at the Michael Jackson movie.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. He had to go catch the. He's so cheap. He had to go get the matinee.
And again, I'll say this: Michael Jackson was an immensely talented musician.
Oh yeah.
When he
for
was
sure.
still like Thriller time, like all of that music was so good when you listen to it. It's like really good stuff. And like anything else, he just became so powerful and so weird. And by the end, it was like he was not even who he was born to be. Like it was just so like how power can absolutely corrupt somebody like that. And it was just so sad to see like the reclusive life and what his life became. And he was just literally, that was some of the best music ever. Like around that time, when you listen to it, you're like, this is good. Like, and he could dance and perform like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And he ended up, a drug addicted white guy at the end. I mean, it was really weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what? He looked like an alien. It was like crazy. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let you know when the sequel's coming out.
Yeah,
Well, please do.
Right.
Please do, because
So what was your Father's Day? I'll see your Michael Jackson movie and raise you what?
Well, I'll tell you this: it started with an S and it ended with an X.
Oh boy,
It
nice.
came in a 10-pack. I got socks for Father's Day. That's what I got. It was like it was.
Well,
puppet show.
at your age, they're compression socks, but go ahead.
Right, yeah, right, exactly. Your socks make the man now. Like you know how it is. Your feet. If you can't be on your feet, especially in our work, you're done.
Yeah, no, prevents blood clots.
Right, exactly. And that's what I got. It was kind of cool. Like nothing else really happened. We worked late the night prior. You know what I mean? Like we worked late in the bar district and then got home and you sleep till like noon because you don't get home till like 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's the second day of doing it. It's great. It's good stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But like that kind of day is a bust. So you celebrate another time. There's like holidays observed. But it was a pretty wild weekend. So it was kind of cool. But the socks topped it all off. I was like, yeah. Like this is where you're just like, and then I'm totally like my mom. Like there was 10 of them. And I was like, what am I going to do with 10 pairs of socks? This is too much.
How am I going to wear all these?
How do I store these? Like, where do
I'll
they
save
go?
2 pairs for good.
I don't have a space for this. Right. And I was like, what is wrong with me? It's a 10 pair of socks and I can't even enjoy that. Like, I was stressed about the space that they were going to take up. But anyway, that was great. It was a really good time. Like this.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Sounds
That's
fantastic.
awesome. Yeah,
But
that's
honestly,
fantastic.
like, don't you guys think? I said this when I woke up, and you're surrounded with your kids, and like I said to myself, honestly, like kind of every day is Father's Day. I know that sounds corny,
I
but
agree.
like when you got great kids and they're like behind you and involved in your life, even like as tough as life can be with raising kids in this day and age, it's still like every day's Father's Day. Like, and dads are like, you don't need to do a fucking day for me. Every day, your guys are doing good shit. Even when you're not doing good shit, you're still. It's like an opportunity for me to lead and do whatever. That's just how I looked at Father's Day. And I talked to my son. I started the day talking to my oldest son. These are the two men that buffer my life. My oldest son, you know, as much as he is Cosmo Kramer, he guides me through life in a way because, you know, it's my first son. And then my father, I talked to at the end of the day, the guy that got me to where I'm at. Like, and we're all so different of a people. But I'm fortunate in that sense where not a lot of guys that I know have their fathers alive anymore.
Right.
And some guys have fathers in their lives that maybe they wish weren't. And that to me is a testament about how we got to get better as fathers and appreciate some of the things around us. And that was just like the gift for me that day. I was like, yeah, this is kind of sounds corny. People are like, oh, whatever. You were just talking about Michael Jackson. But that's honestly was
you
like,
didn't hit anybody with a shoe.
So. I didn't have to. No, I didn't have to. But I stand on the back. I see further because I stand on the backs of giants that hit people in the face with shoes.
Right. Right. And make you carry a lawnmower downstairs when it's hot.
I don't have to hit somebody in the face with a shoe because it was done for me.
Because it was done for me. I learned from that.
Anyway. Love you, Dad. There you
go. So we had a crazy week. We had, the Anthony case, the Metcalf, what's that? Anthony Martello. What's his name?
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, the Metcalf. He got 35 years. And then you got his parents probably going to go to, looking to get locked up for fraud, and they got everybody, fighting about it, and all this other craziness, and people are fighting each other or whatever. And I was watching that the other day, and like for whatever reason it came up, it was a Father's Day something about. It came across whatever about a sad father or whatever like that, and it comes across, and I'm looking at it, and then it gets into like how they're going to go into fraud and everything like that, and I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, this is a lot of time for a simple case where the kid goes into a tent and starts some shit after the guy asked him to leave, and he stabs him. Like what? Right. Why are like he just plain out stabs him and kills him, and it's. Where we have come to not have people have to look at consequences. And I'm listening to some of this stuff. It's like, well, the jury was all white. Okay. Well, they showed. I don't know. I don't think it was. No.
Well, the bottom line is that his attorneys had to agree to that fact. Like jury selection's a process where the attorneys get some say in this. And if they sat an all-white jury, that's his attorney's fault. That's what I'd say. If he's like not a single black, and he was overturned on it. I mean, like, you could have objected to that, and maybe he did. I don't know.
I don't know. But then you had 21 witnesses, I believe it was, that all did not defend Carmelo at all. That he was at fault. 21. And people are still out there, yelling and barking and screaming that, there's an unfair trial. It's on this, on that. And then the parents with $625,000 buy themselves a new house because they felt unsafe in the neighborhood that they were in.
And he gets a public defender, right?
Yeah, and he gets a public defender when it was all supposed to be for his legal defense. So they're looking at charges. They stopped, and they stopped getting the GoFundMe, and and I'm just and I'm listening to this, and I'm like, we are just way far stretching where we're making excuses for people. Like he went into another guy's tent. Okay. They asked him to leave, and everybody knows the facts of the case and stuff. And then he stabs a guy, and you have people out there defending the fact that, and there wasn't even punches thrown. Metcalf pushed him. Metcalf allegedly pushed him a little bit or gave him a nudge or whatever. But this guy turns around and stabs him.
It certainly doesn't justify the outcome.
No, and I think this is the kind of stuff that continues to divide our country in regards to, like, you have people that are out there that do bad things, and they do things that are wrong, and they make mistakes, but you got to be held accountable for the mistakes, and what possible excuses is there,
Well, and with that, this will get Chris going too, because combining stories that seem ridiculous and movies that seem to be ridiculous ties two things together. Of the Sean Penn, I don't know if you've heard this. Sean Penn is going to direct a movie about the January 6th Capitol Police officer. That was our guy Fanone, right? Fanone, what's his name?
We did a bit on him.
And this goof, and so apparently Sean Penn is going to direct this movie, and according to this article from Police One, they're looking at Bradley Cooper to possibly star in this. I thought it would be better. I actually thought it'd be better if Sean Penn starred in it, but as Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
Some of the
backstory
shows up in his uniform and those checkered sneakers.
Yeah.
The band.
Some of the backstory on this is that Sean Penn actually attended the January 6th hearings to see, as he claimed, as an ordinary citizen,
right, a layman,
which is like, you're from Hollywood, you're not an ordinary citizen, and the storied history that you have, from playing Jeff Spicoli all the way up to Harvey Milk, like you're not an ordinary citizen, Sean. I'm sorry. I know your craft does not allow you to be an ordinary citizen. Your success in your craft has not allowed you to be an ordinary citizen. And again, I'm not saying that you don't have the same rights to it, but don't sit there in the front row between two Capitol Police officers that claimed that the whole thing was a conspiracy theory on Donald Trump's behalf and things like that, and expect people to take you seriously. Sean Penn is also very well known for his progressive and his super progressive political stances on some of these things. So he's going to automatically get people rolling their eyes about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to treat
looking to capitalize on it.
I'm going to treat that movie like I treated the Michael Jackson movie. I'm not going to go see it. And even if when it's on Netflix and I'm paying for it, I probably won't see it either, because it's like, I already know it's going to be like not factual. Basically, it's going to be because that's what they do. Like, it's like Braveheart was a cool movie. I loved watching it, but like there was so much of it that was just so not like that didn't happen. That's not how it went. It's a kind of total characterization of it just to get people ginned up and all of these things. And that's what I'm imagining is going to happen with a film like this. We don't know what's going on because we talked about Fanone quite a bit. He is a glory-seeking guy.
He's a coward, and that's how I know that's going to end.
And he talks about like what happened when he got there. He was attacked and beaten, and it was because he was there to stop it from happening. He was called a traitor of his country. And the only reason this bloodthirsty mob stopped was because he said he was having a heart attack. Like, you're a bloodthirsty mob. And the guy goes, I'm having a heart attack. He's a traitor to his country. Oh, but he's having a heart attack. So let's leave him alone.
Right. Let's just let him. It's okay.
Stop. Like the confusion of that day is never going to be known. Just like Epstein Island's never going to be known. Just like, are there UFOs? Are there not UFOs?
Yes.
Who killed Kennedy? That's what this is. There are too many powerful people that are now using it to manipulate us as to, you should hate Donald Trump because of this, and we're being told on the other side, you should love Donald Trump because of this. And Donald Trump's like creating funds that he's going to let people get money out of it, and then he disbands that. All of these things are going on. It's nonsense. You're going to make a movie that you think is going to change people's minds, Sean Penn. Good, go for it. It's art. It's like bad paintings.
And of course, he wants Bradley Cooper to play him.
Yeah,
sure.
Cooper,
Only if you sing "Shallow." You got to sing "Shallow" as you're getting
American
attacked.
Sniper. Yeah,
Right. But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you both a question. What do you actually would think? And this is serious. What would you actually think if we had a politician that came out and released all this stuff, like the truth about Epstein, the truth about January 6th, the truth about Kennedy, like all these conspiracy theories that we hear? What do you actually think would happen to our country?
I think we're too distracted, and half the people you talk to them about it wouldn't even know about any of these things. Like, they'd be like, the Kennedy assassination. People just would go, "Oh, now we know," and they would just get on with their life and look for the next thing to be like they say, like what do they say about falling for anything? That saying that they have about you'll fall for everything,
Right.
That's what this is all about. I mean, to me, it's like, what are we going to solve here? That happened. Every other nation in the history of mankind has experienced these levels of things. And Americans, we even, like, at this point in our existence, we even like half-stepped the Capitol riots, for that matter. We didn't staff it properly. If we had the intel, people took people to stand down. Like, you do our work for a little while and you go, like, and they didn't even, nothing burned, nothing went down. An innocent person was killed, to be honest with you, a person that was doing something that was illegal. Deadly force was used against her. She's not innocent in the sense that maybe she was trespassing when she was doing it. But Ashley Babbitt was shot in the neck. An unarmed woman was shot in the neck by a police officer. Take that same incident and put it in Minneapolis when they were storming precincts in Minneapolis, and a police officer decided to use that force. Look, folks, I don't know how to break it to you, but all of those buildings in a democracy have the same level of respect. Just because it's the Capitol and it's ornate in that Roman style and the way it looks doesn't mean it's any less important than a fucking post office.
Right.
Or a police station. If people are acting that way, you can't glamorize one and then demonize the other and then expect the other side to believe that that's what you're doing. That's the beauty of America. There are no kings, as they claim there is. There are no like more special places than any. A small little courtroom where somebody's going for a traffic ticket is honestly no worse than or better than the justice part for somebody being tried for murder. Like, and people don't understand that. Like, we've created these moral inequivalents. And people are like, yeah, I'm going to take this movie seriously. Dude, stop appeasing your friends. Stop getting rich white donors.
And that's the thing too.
Help you make a movie. It's crap.
Like Chris says, even if we get it all and we see all these awful things that people did, it just more and more comes out, and nobody ever gets charged. Nobody ever gets held accountable. Nobody's ever in trouble for it.
But that's what yeah.
I mean, it would be great to actually get like all of it out in the open, but I really just don't have confidence that people who did things criminally would actually ever even really be held accountable for it. And that's on both sides. I mean, because there's all kinds of people in all kinds of different political groups and whatnot that are probably involved in all this nonsense. It's not like a one party thing. And it just doesn't seem to matter that however many names you list or however many people you say were involved or this person covered this part up, nothing ever really happens, and then it just fades into the next controversy.
And it just continues to me. It just continues to be like this. They want to throw these things like distractions and all this other stuff, and it's just like, okay, you come out with the Epstein files, whatever. Okay, you did what you did. That's up to the DOJ to prosecute. But just to keep pointing fingers and keep distracting and keep all these these things alive that really are. They're horrible and they're awful, but we're spending so much time being distracted by that we're not paying attention to what's going on in our own cities, Chicago, L.A., New York. And okay, you went to the Epstein Island. Okay, get prosecuted, move on. But the amount of time we spend on this stuff, throwing smoke in the air and all this other stuff is taking away from
a never-ending cycle. It's just a never-ending cycle. There's always some new scandal that's replacing the current scandal, so people take their focus off whatever that scandal.
The fact that Social Security is going to be maybe insolvent by 2029, like that, that's going to impact everybody, folks. Everybody. All retirements, all this stuff. Like we're like, oh, as cops, we don't have to worry about windfall profit anymore. We can get Social Security because I had the points for Social Security before I became a cop. And then you start seeing, well, now they're raising the retirement age. You're going to be penalized on this. And meanwhile, nobody's fixing why we don't have any money in Social Security anymore. Well, we sure as shit are talking about whether Tom Hanks was at Sex Island or Donald Trump's a pervert and he was there as well and all this other things, despite whatever proof comes out. This is just yet another thing. What are we going to find out if, Michael Fanone, whatever the guy's name is, it was right about what was happening there?
But that's what I'm saying.
Why is he the guy that we should all listen to anyway? Why? Because why? Because he's the guy that Hollywood loves because he said Donald Trump caused this. That's why we're getting this movie.
But that's why. Why don't we just solve problems like we do as policemen? You go there, you resolve the problem, you take people to jail who got to go to jail, and you move on to the next problem. Like this could all be wiped out in a couple of weeks. But you got you put it out there. Everybody takes it on the chin who's got to take it on the chin because they did what they did, and you move on. But it just seems like it just keeps going on. And it's all this. It's just all controversy, all negative news. Like the the new Obama library, they didn't pay half the vendors. It's $4 million in the red, and those guys are going. Those guys had to go bankrupt. And but why don't we just go? Okay, shut it down, tear down the building, whatever. Like, just solve the problem and move on. It's just months and months and months and years and years and years and years. It's just stuff that doesn't need to be. Let's solve the problem and hit the next problem.
That was a star-studded event.
Oh, I know.
Was at, and all of these
Mhm.
movie stars. What would they have done with that Saturday night when they opened it? That
Right.
building that looks like it's something out of the fucking Star Wars Empire's New Order shit. Like it's an ugly thing. It didn't promise anything that came with it. But what would they all do? They wouldn't. Where would they be able to go to let us know how enlightened they are by liking Barack Obama, and how the rest of us are just a bunch of clowns that like Donald Trump? I mean, like, that's what this is all about. It's a bunch of bread and circus crap that costs.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's like, but that money, maybe that money could have gone towards Social Security. But no, he needed a legacy. He wants to name the street in front of Trump Plaza in Chicago, by the way. They want to name it after, like, they want to name it Barack Obama Way or something like that.
Right.
I was like, well, that'll show him. That's worth a while. Like,
too bad you can't name a
putting
street
up
after until you're
street
dead, you
signs or
moron.
anything. But that's where I'm up against. It's all nonsense. All of it's nonsense.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all
Michael Jackson
stupid.
biopic is nonsense. I'm sorry, Scott.
Well, here's another thing, though. Here's something that we all thought was going to be successful that Sean sent us the story on. Because who couldn't back a program like D.A.R.E?
Right.
Who would have ever guessed that D.A.R.E has been the opposite of what it was actually created for? And I'll just lead in on this story that Sean sent us from Travis Yates. And it basically says what D.A.R.E can teach us about the de-escalation movement. And what it does is kind of show the parallels between, there was this big movement for D.A.R.E in the early 80s, and all the money and funding and work and training and this and that we put into the D.A.R.E programs is very much like what you're kind of seeing currently with the de-escalation. And we talk about de-escalation, and we have, and said, this is a thing that you do almost every encounter that you have with someone, and you've been doing it. We're taught how to de-escalate people in the police academy before it was called de-escalation, and you've done it thousands of times in various situations from minor to major throughout your career. But now, because again, it has to be labeled a thing, and we're going to go all in it. We're going to make it state mandates for all this training, and we're going to pay people to get certified in it. It's going to just we're going to do this. We understand that it's a thing you've already been doing, but now we're going to call it something. We're going to put little pins on our uniform, and look no further than this article. And Sean's can talk more about it too, that this is where we've gone with D.A.R.E and what that did for us.
Yeah, Travis Yates, he's been a guest on the show, and he's very, I like him. I think like what he writes, and I don't know how to put it in the words quite like he does. And he did a thesis on this back in the day about D.A.R.E and how it failed miserably. It actually created a lot of the different results than what it was expecting. Like, more people. I'm going to tell you, D.A.R.E is something when you wear t-shirts, it's like a tongue-in-cheek poke at bad government. You know what I mean? And bad policing. We would go and take people off, and when we were doing our drug work, that were wearing D.A.R.E shirts. And and it was hilarious because we'd laugh about it as well. And again, look, in the police world, D.A.R.E was adopted like de-escalation is being adopted, because some people want easy fixes even on the inside, like where we're at. Most of the people talk to D.A.R.E, and honestly, let me be straight with you, they rolled their eyes about it. Like Travis Yates said, when he wrote his thesis on it and what he found from it, it hurt a lot of feelings. We're willing to talk about cops doing silly things, and I know we hurt a lot of feelings within law enforcement because we're not getting. Nobody's falling all over us to come on Police One or anything like that. But the bottom line is we got to be realistic about this stuff. D.A.R.E did not work, and it was so bad that people laughed about it. There's plenty of other government, like the food triangle right now that you look at, and we got fatter and less healthier by people that were telling us, eat these things that are not naturally occurring and don't eat the things that are naturally occurring. It got so bad that they're inventing ticks that will make us throw up from eating meat right now. You know what I mean? That's how bad the food triangle people had buy into it. And D.A.R.E did the same thing. They threw a lot of money at it. They had full-time officers doing this stuff. A lot of times it was guys that were like Scott said, that are rolling around D.A.R.E to, not do drugs, whatever the hell they called it. Drug abuse resistance and education actually was I didn't know I could actually grab a paint can and sniff it in my grandfather's shed.
Exactly. Right.
They said it taught kids more about using drugs
than
preventing the effects and everything. People are like, wait, what happens when you smoke weed?
Yeah. And it's honestly,
I totally don't want to try that.
D.A.R.E is now if you come across an agency that's still practicing D.A.R.E, you're like, do you guys still hit people with wooden billy clubs too?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Right. Do your in-car cameras still have VHS tapes on them?
right, yeah, right. Like literally, you hear that winding sound. But there again it was a parallel that he used to describe what's going on with the popularity of de-escalation, because it's like a buzzword that civilians can get in on it. People like we're dealing with things with these drunks in the streets, and they're laughing as they're walking by and going, "Hey man, de-escalate that guy." You know, like, that's what they're even thinking it's funny. But like people have latched onto it,
right?
Trying to use it to get financing and funds and everything else. And the whole principle of this is like he's like, hey, everything old is new again. Here's the new D.A.R.E, and it's called de-escalation. And de-escalation is in the police world. It's definitely in a state of flux of like, yeah, we see the value in it. We've been doing it for a while. Why haven't we ever gotten credit for it before? As meanwhile, the rest of society is imploding with drug use and mental health problems that we're failing to deal with. And then these ideas that police officers, anytime that they use force, they're inherently wrong. Like,
right.
You didn't de-escalate him. Like there's an officer in Connecticut right now that's being charged for not de-escalating a situation properly. And he was fired, and he's being charged after he was fired because of that. That guy's like fighting an uphill battle because he came in there, and maybe even if his tactics were bad, the bottom line is that according to the law, if he felt that he was threatened in some way, shape, or form, I don't have to worry about, well, like if you or Scott were threatened, Chris, that I can perceive this from a totally different angle and perceive a totally different thing and use the force that I needed to. Well, now guys are being charged with manslaughter and in some cases homicide as cops with that.
Yeah.
And de-escalation, people are like, well, let's just de-escalate until it's completely obvious that I have to do something. And that's usually within the span of about an arm's distance.
Right.
And
well, a second and a half.
Right. And I'm going to let you know something, folks. Your taser doesn't work very well at close distance. Your taser isn't as effective. Your OC spray doesn't give you a chance to get the Aspeton clearly does not work in that span because somebody's already too close to you. But we wait and wait and wait. And then it's just like, all right, well, then I'll just wait until I actually have to, no doubt in my mind, I have to use deadly force to stop this from happening to a citizen or myself. And I just think it's going to lead to more bad things like D.A.R.E didn't necessarily fix.
Because much like the D.A.R.E thing was, we're going to talk about this. We're going to give kids stickers and coloring books and put D.A.R.E things on the side of a 1992 Corvette we seized from a drug dealer. And then what you're having with de-escalation is people think when the general public, my opinion is that what people generally think is that it's always these situations where you're just going to have time to sit and talk one-on-one with this person and calm them down. And like we said before, and we talked about it recently, de-escalation is, yes, that's one version of it. But de-escalation.
Wait, why don't we combine the two? Like de-escalate, but give them a gummy first.
Right, exactly.
Here's your de-escalation gummy.
And then you shoot him out of it. You shoot it at an FN 305, like the ball gun.
But like my D.A.R.E car is like the real cars that you see from drug dealers. It's an 03 Cavalier with 162,000 miles on it. And
because those are the drug dealers were mostly government cost.
And you're like, this car was seized from a drug dealer.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a thing.
And the bumper sticker says, "I failed out of D.A.R.E."
But I mean, that it's the same kind of thing. Like I remember D.A.R.E stuff in high school and all this, and you think about, and you're kind of even just as a high school kid, you're like, what are they talking about here?
Right.
You know what I mean, like kids know what drugs are. Kids know what drinking is, and just the way that they pushed it, I think everybody kind of laughed about it, but they just kept pushing it and pushing it. And like the story says, the statistics didn't back it up, but we just kept going in.
Right.
We're all in. We're not gonna take our foot off the gas on this. We are gonna push this D.A.R.E thing as long as we possibly can. And like Sean said, there's still some departments that are out there doing it. In the days now of more with less and lower police budgets and less training and all this, I don't know why anybody would be wasting their time on this.
Right.
But where this goes in line with the de-escalation thing that we've talked about is that people think the de-escalation thing is this feel-good way to just stop violent situations from happening. Sometimes it is. It is. But De-escalation is also all those other things that we've talked about. It's good
And we've been doing
command
for
presence.
years.
Right. It's good command presence.
Right.
It's it could be the presentation of a taser, maybe not even having to taser somebody, but just taking it out of the holster and, you know, letting somebody know, hey, this is going to happen. And those are all things that we don't want to think about, but they are all part of that. That's why you can't just that's why we make those jokes about de-escalation is the thing you take out of your pocket or take off a carrier on your vest. I have this magic power to de-escalate. De-escalate could be anything. De-escalation could be that deputy that we talked about that told the guy, hey, if you reach for this gun in your waistband, I'm going to smash your face off the car, right? Is it the most professional, you know, like what, not say professional, but is it like what people think of de-escalation? Absolutely not. Everybody just thinks that de-escalation is this sit down, you know, let's talk.
Hug it out.
All this time between all our calls to sit here and let me sort out your problems from the last 2 years, and hopefully you'll put down the knife that you were going to stab somebody with. And they should take a look at, and he does a very good job in this article of showing those commonalities of kind of where that's going. So again, not that de-escalation is a bad thing, not that we're saying that isn't effective, but understanding what it is and being able to go back and say, okay, has this been an effective thing, and in what ways do we use it, in what types of situation? It is absolutely not a one size fits all.
Right. You know, and they put a label on it. Like, that's the thing. Like this D.A.R.E, they put a label on it. Like I learned, you know, about, you know, staying away from drugs and stuff from my parents. And, you know, now you put a label on it and becomes more interesting, more whatever. And then de-escalation, you're putting a label on it, but we do that every single day, every single call, whether somebody's happy to see us or, you know, not happy to see us. It's always like, let's everybody calm down, you know, let's, you know, glad to be here, whatever. But we do that all the time. Now what they're doing is they're putting a label on it with parameters that this is the, you know, it's the magic bullet that, you know, we're never gonna have to shoot anybody again because de-escalation works.
Yeah, the guy that did that de-escalation that Scott's talking about, like, that's what I would like be like him, like profane yet learned. Like you can say dirty words, but you can still be smart. You know what I mean? And that guy is exactly that. But Chris, the other thing you should be proud of, to be honest with you, when you read into the article, Travis Yates kind of really talks about ICAT, which is something that one of our other guests that's been on this show, Dr. Robin Engel from Louisville, University of Cincinnati, she is the one that's pushing that. And it was a study done in in the early 20s, I guess, 2020s, obviously, where it finally came together. And ICAC is integrating communications assessment and tactics, which heavily relied on the Scottish police. Who are not armed, and it was a study that was done there, and some of these tactics and things were adopted, so much so that people got behind it so much that, like, I guess over $100 million in funding, like for D.A.R.E, was dedicated to this based upon a lot of that study. And now he's not trying to be adversarial about it. He's just trying to get people to look at it through a different lens of these things. And again, is this something that, you know, look, we're not lying when we're telling you this. It's important. It's important training that we do it. We do it in scenario-based things, but there's also got to be this idea that this isn't like, you know, like when we first got the taser, everything looked like a nail because you had the hammer. Taser changed the way that, like, you know, you use that thing for uses of force. In the past, it was just a mere indication of a resistance, where the guy's like, man, fuck you, man. I'm not putting my hands behind my back. Correct, ride the lightning. You know what I mean? Like, that's drastically, as it should have since, but all of these things can change over time. And de-escalation, I think, is on this track right now, that a lot of people that actually do the work every single day go, yeah, that sounds cool. Those are really great platitudes about what we should do. Like, you know, 30 and 30 and all these other things that, like, yeah, sounds great. Yeah, whatever. Maybe it'll bring some release. Maybe it won't. But the bottom line is we practice this and we realize that sometimes, just like, you know, I was labeled something when I tried to use drugs early when I was a kid. Like Chris said, I was labeled by my dad. And it usually involved the crack. And I got labeled by my father, like, don't do that shit because it's wrong. Sometimes somebody's got to get through to you on that level. Like, you got to use, like, some level of force. And I think whereas it's kind of all falling apart is, like, they're going to say money was thrown at this, and an officer didn't do what people think he should have done, despite what case law says and what plays out in courts. I think it's going to give really opportunistic politicians the chance to really really skewer cops. And,
Right.
and that's what I'm afraid of. Like, we spent $100 million in this over there, and these problems continue to happen. Yeah, because the people that are doing the work were the last to be consulted on how effective it could or couldn't be, and that there is literally no magic bullet to fix a lot of stuff we're dealing with out there.
Because they don't want to address the fact that each person is different. Just like as cops, you have some cops that, are a little bit more forceful than others. You got some cops that could act, that are good at the gift the gab. You got some cops that are good with the, statute regurgitation. But it's just like people that you deal with are different. Some people you can talk down. Some people you can't. Some people are already predetermined that I'm going to try and kill this policeman. I'm going to try and kill these people. I'm going to kill myself or whatever it is. But when you're trying to de-escalate, they're trying to put a box around it that it's going to work for every person. And it's just not the way that's going to happen.
It's not a one size fits all.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Not like my socks. Not like my socks. It doesn't come in a 10-pack.
It doesn't come in a 10-pack. That's compression.
10 to 13, men's.
So de-escalation did not make my Father's Day like a 10-pack of socks would. Like, hey, let's just go back to our roots, man. I'm an ordinary soldier that walks around. I was a beat cop doing it. I need a good pair of socks and a great pair of low-quarter leathers to get me through the shift, as opposed to all these magical tools that doctors.
Sean's de-escalation, his dad's de-escalation was a floor shine.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Floor sign.
To a high buff.
Right, to a high buff. Only resold one time in 40 years, and I still have them in the original packaging.
Excellently cobbled.
My dad was a 34-inch waist, but his belt was like a 52. It hit you across the freaking house.
He's like Indiana Jones with that thing stuck in the back in you.
It converts into a whip. Holy shit.
Cracking like while he's driving you while you're taking the lawnmower into the basement. That's how you and your brother are just getting beat like mules.
Anyway, rest in peace, Dad. Good last, good memories. Good last, good memories. But hey, here we all are, right? Here we all are. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. Please go to where you get your podcasts, leave a rating, review, download, subscribe. Please tell all your friends. If you have an idea for the show, a question, a concern, want to be a guest, have an idea for a guest, please email us at 3copstalk@gmail.com. You could go to 3copstalk.com. You could leave us an email there, but you could also download old episodes that I would suggest you listen to because, I don't care what anybody says. I think we're kind of funny. But please tell all your friends, download, subscribe, and get the word out because we're really trying to make the world a better place. And I'm glad you guys had a great Father's Day, and God bless everybody. Thanks for listening.